Hey guys, here I am, still working on the 63 Bel Air, and I just thought I'd take a moment to share a little bit of what I've been up to. Maybe teach you a couple things, or maybe steer you wrong. Who knows, we'll see how it goes. But I was going to start off with showing a little bit of the significance of an airboard. An airboard on a big car like this, like with really big flat panels, is so helpful. It just makes the job so much better. And so, why don't I just show you what that's all about? This is an airboard. It's a long pneumatic tool. It's probably about 18 inches long. And what's great about this is, you connect the air hose to it just like you would a DA, and you can run it down the panel with the air. And what it will do is it will show all the low spots and the high spots. So it looks kind of like camouflage right now, but all in all, this car is actually pretty straight. I know it really looks really bad, seeing where the spots sanded through, but a lot of that is actually filled just by the paint that's on here. So it doesn't need a lot of work. So if you were making an absolute show car, you could actually skim coat this whole thing in filler and then airboard it all off until you only saw a little bit of metal here and there, and for the most part it was all just filler and smooth. I'm not going to go that far on this car. That's not really the goal. You can see a lot of this car has been sanded down. Looks absolutely horrible, but it's not as bad as it looks. Pretty much this whole side of the car is sanded. The hood is done. I've just got a little bit more sanding to do here. Got this spot in the hood here where there was a dent right in the peak of where the hood has like a little bit of a stand-in peak right here. And so I've just been working on rebuilding that. Couple small dings. The roof is basically done. Trunk lid, showed a video of that before. That's done. Just has to be primed, sealed. Yeah, so it's coming along. Won't be a whole lot longer before I actually get to paint this thing. And I hope you enjoyed watching this. Another tip I wanted to show you guys. This little peak here I was talking about, it's been a real pain, and I can still feel it's not perfect. So a little trick you can do, try not to shake the camera while I shake this can, is you can just kind of give it a light coat of spray paint, primer. And then you can kind of see what you got to work with here. You can get it in the light, look at different angles. This actually doesn't look all that bad. I don't have a whole lot more work to do to it. You can see a little bit of a sort of like a crease almost right there where it's still maybe a little bit low. Could just be primer. Yeah, I'd say that looks actually pretty good. So another thing you can do if you're working on a big panel is you can wipe the whole panel down with like a paint thinner and get it all wet and shiny, and then you can look down the edge of it and you'll be able to pick up on how straight that panel is. But you have to look at just the shine. You can't be looking at like the camouflage stuff I just showed you. You have to look down the edge, look at the gloss of it, and let that be your guide. That's why I keep getting down like this, looking at that gloss. So that doesn't need a whole lot more work. And that'll be it. One more tip of this video. So I've been sanding this rear quarter down. I already did all the airboard, and I've been going over it with hand, by hand. All this had to be all sanded out by hand. You can't really do that with a tool too well. And what I've discovered is, I already knew this before I started sanding, but this area right here, even though it looks pretty good, and I haven't even really noticed this looking down it, but I can feel that it's just not quite right. It's a little something going on in here, and this is a nice radius here, which can be a real difficult thing to work with. Now what I wanted to show you though is something I've learned over the years of doing work like this. If you want to get that perfect, I take a piece of PVC pipe and I wrap it with my sandpaper, and I'll just come down here and just hand sand this. Holding my cell phone with one hand while I'm sanding with the other. You'll see what begins to happen here. As you can see, there's a high spot right there. It's still not showing everything yet. But using the PVC pipe like this, it creates a nice straight edge, but still being rounded as far as this way goes. And it makes a huge difference. It's really hard to get a radius edge to be straight down a long car like this. And this keeps it nice and solid. You can really work it down and get a nice straight edge. Apologize for all the jiggling. Someday I'll actually put my camera on a stand so you can actually see what I'm doing. And amazingly, that already feels better to me than it did. So that's a good start. But that's a really helpful tip. Like I can feel that area right there is still high. But that's going to help you guys. If you guys have to go and do a car that's got an edge like that, I mean that's long. And if you have any body work in here, that's going to show up if it's not perfect. It's going to show up a lot. You can use a much longer pipe than this if you needed to. This one's only about 8 inches long, but I think that'll be my final tip for this video. And that's it.